Okay, so in this, I'm going to talk about learning SATB. Should I do it? I've seen a lot of channels actually downplay learning this style, and I'm going to show you how I personally use it and how I think it's very effective and how composers have actually used it. You don't have to be very exact on this, on the rule set, but it's actually a very, very nice skill set to have when it comes to music that has a dramatic effect to it. In my honest opinion, there's no better way than using counterpoint techniques like you would learn in SATB to create a very dramatic push-pull effect. And it doesn't have to be exactly as you're taught. I mean, you take those tools and you apply them to what you've learned and how you would use it. So let's just take an example first. Right here. Starts out with a little bit of lightness, independent voice movement. Okay, we'll go ahead and stop there. So I intentionally wrote what I was going to. Well, let's cover this first. I initially started with a melody, and then threw in the harmony that would fit this with a whole ton of borrowed chords. So that's the best way to analyze this, and that's one way anyway. But I took the harmony then, because melody and harmony are completely separate entities. So I'll just play the basic version, just basic block chords. A little delay. Very basic block chord version. Okay. So basic block chord version, but I took that harmony and I intentionally wrote just a little bit of four voice writing on there as a sketch to what I would do when I mocked it up orchestrally. And this is the contrapuntal movement that I use. And when you're thinking about this, you can separate your harmony from your melody. That you could treat them as completely different entities. So on top of the push-pull effect you're getting with your harmony being independent, your melody's helping that along too by also having, non-chord tones. So this is the way I use it, and the way I see a lot of composers like John Williams use it. Counterpoint like this, contrapuntal techniques that you have learned, and they don't have to be in the ranges. You could use parallel fifths sometimes, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just, should I learn SATB? And my guess is, if you want to be a dramatic composer, I would say absolutely. Someone who deals with music that has a dramatic push-pull effect. So I reworked that harmonic scheme with some contrapuntal techniques I learned with SATB a long time ago. And I'll just play through it when I get this set here. I'll just play the backing part. I didn't even look at the melody at that point. I just wrote the backing part with some contrapuntal ideas. So let me see. Yeah, the thing keeps getting shifting out of the way. So let's see if I could play this without messing it up. I'm not a very good. If I mess up a few things, it's okay. I'm not a keyboard player per se, so the melody's completely ignored. I just focused on the harmony at that point before I went and orchestrated it. I have the harmony and the melody, two separate entities. Okay. So here's the backing. Okay, so that was the backing. Now let's compare that to just static chord holding. Okay. that would be a static holding version, just static holding chords. And now let's compare it again with the counterpoint in there. So that's how I reworked the harmonic scheme, as I used those same rules or same kind of techniques that I learned from SATB. So let's listen to it again. So the dramatic effect it has as opposed to holding chords, especially when you're adding on top of it dynamics as well as chord shifts that are intentionally meant to really pull on the strings of the listener in a dramatic fashion. Add on top of that the push-pull effect of counterpoint, and it really increases the dramaticism of the piece. So this is, I would say, if somebody said, should I learn SATB? I would say absolutely. So a lot of those channels that say don't learn it, don't listen to them. I mean, composers have taken that skill set and applied it to different things. So, and in summary, everybody from like film score composers like John Williams and people like Wagner, they all use like some form of counterpoint as opposed to chord holding and in addition to the types of chord changes they're using and the dynamics to create a very dramatic effect. And you really can't do that with static chord holding. So there's a time and a place for chord holding always. There's a time and a place for just chords, complex chords always. But there's also a time and a place for some dramatic, for some counterpoint adding to the dramatic effect. And there's, in my opinion, still there's no better way than combining the aspect of chord changes, counterpoint, and dynamics to create a very dramatic effect. So yes, go and learn it.